Today, a new Diary of Wimpy Kid movie premiered on Disney+, this time in animated form as opposed to its live-action predecessors. So, first off, this isn't really a movie. It's only about 50 minutes or so. 50, like 50, not 15. It's 50 minutes, so just a little bit under an hour. It's essentially a TV pilot, so it's not a movie. It's a TV pilot, basically. But it is a very well-done TV pilot. So, just so you know where I'm coming from with my perspective on this, I did read these books as a kid. The first book was actually started out as a webcomic on Funbrain because when I was in 4th grade, we were only allowed to play on 2 websites on the school computers, Funbrain and BrainPop. And so Funbrain was how I got introduced to this. And then it got published as an actual book a few years later, and of course that became a whole series. And when I was in school, these books were popular. Whenever a new one came out, school librarians had to purchase a whole bunch of copies because they were so popular. And the first movie, the first live-action movie that came out about 10 years ago or so, came out at the perfect time for me. I was getting ready to start middle school myself, so there you go. That's sort of context. You understand the perspective of what you're reviewing this. Now, I haven't read any of the books since I've graduated high school, and I haven't really had access to them. I don't even know if they're still publishing. Like, are they still coming out with these books? I don't know. The last book I read was maybe, I don't know, the 7th book, the 8th book, something around there. So if they're still coming out, I haven't read them in years, just because, not because I lost interest in them, but just because I don't have a way to read them because we don't really have any libraries near me, and I'm not in school anymore because I'm a college student now. We don't really have this, so I haven't really had to see these books. And also, I didn't see the last movie that came out until literally yesterday, so I could do the ranking of these. So, like, just, you know, I didn't see any of the movies in theaters, though. I rented all of the Diary of a Kid movies as they came out on DVD, back when Blockbuster was still around, and I didn't see the 4th one until literally yesterday. So there you go, there's your context for what I'm reviewing this. And it actually is a very good movie, despite its short runtime. Because first off, the animation is very unique. It looks exactly like the book, just a bit more bulgy and in color, and everyone in this is so expressive. The animation medium, they really took advantage of. The backgrounds and everything else are incredibly detailed. The dirt, the scuff marks, the paint, the trees, it all looks super realistic. And then you have the characters who are cartoons, and the contrast really works incredibly well. It sort of reminded me of the Captain Underpants movie or the Peanuts movie, that kind of stuff. Now, the voice acting is kind of hit or miss. Now, the kids were fine. All the kid characters, they were good. There weren't any voices where I thought, well, that doesn't fit. No, all the kid characters, very well cast. But sometimes with the mixing of the voices, it could be a bit off, specifically with Greg's mom. It seemed to me that for some reason, whenever she spoke, it didn't seem like they finished mixing her voicing or cleaning it up because it sounded somewhat muffled. Like, you could hear her in the recording booth, so it sounded very off. It was always like, oh, like, you could understand what she was saying, but it didn't sound as crisp. It sounded like maybe there was, like, something in the background whenever she was speaking. I don't know if that was my speakers or what, but that just, her voice sounded very off to me sometimes. But that's really my only complaint with the voice acting. Now, if you've already seen the first movie, the live-action one, it's the same story as the first movie, but just condensed a little bit shorter. You know, the first movie was like, what, an hour and a half, hour 45, something like that. This one's only 50 minutes, like I said. So it's basically a shorter version of the first movie. So this isn't really new. This isn't like they're adapting a book that they haven't adapted before. It is the first book. So if you've seen the first movie, you've seen this. It's just a shorter version of that, but it is still well done. I really enjoyed it. It's worth checking out. Like I said, it's pretty short. So if you've got some extra time this weekend, if you've got an hour or so to kill, it's worth a watch. Especially if, like me, you grew up with the books, you're kind of curious about it. I'd say check this out. It's great. So I would give Diary of a Kid from 2021 an A-, a 9 out of 10, and a 4 out of 5 stars.